Hello, welcome to FableRealms in 5 minutes or less. It's probably going to be 10 minutes because I can never do it in 5 minutes. This is the Tavern. This is where all good adventures start. Like all good stories, it starts in a pub, and this is where we're going to start today. In here, we've got the ability to have two paths. The DM path, which is where you write a story, you find players or friends or families, you connect with them, and you enter the guild hall. Or you're a player, you make a character, you share the token with the DM, linking it to the campaign, and you enter the guild hall with them. This is an example of a character. Let's click on this one. And this is something that's been wrote by me for actually someone who plays in my party already called Raina. And it is linked to the story of Free. And when here we've got notes, interactions, and battle stats. What we're going to do is go back to my story. This is the story of Free, and we're going to launch it that way. In here we have got all the campaign story. So if we go down to York's Heart, and we go to Vanishing Merchants. This is the quest for the Vanishing Merchants, which is what we're going to go through today. In here, we've got guards, which are NPCs, and characters, which are linked. So these are linked characters to this part of the story, and the outcomes, and of course, what actually happened at the end of the quest. Because this one, like all quests in D&D, the players took in a completely different route. What we'll do is go down here quickly. Lore is basically the history of the world. It could be key items, but they are lore items. The players, we saw Raina a second ago. So this is Raina. You can see here it's linked to the Tavern. And in here we've got her HP level, her gold level, her link to D&D Beyond if you want to do that, her backstory that she wrote, any notes that I want to add, and that interaction log between characters and NPCs, and relationships that she's built up along the way, and her battle stats, and any notes for that character. What we have is characters. Characters are basically NPCs with a bit more weight behind them. They are people who could become companions, or they are bosses, but they have stats like a monster would if you did a homebrew, and they have actions, bonus actions, and a loot table. We have factions, which make up groups of people, like the Avernus First Army. In there, they are located in Avernus, and their members are these, and this is their party attitude. We have NPCs, which I like to think of people who basically aren't that important to the story, like this guy. And in here is just like a little bit of information about this character that the party are briefly going to come up to and speak to whilst they're in Whispering Wharf. We then have locations, so let's have a look at the location of Whispering Wharf. And this is details to do with Whispering Wharf and what worlds exist in Whispering Wharf, which tabletops, and the inhabitants of Whispering Wharf as well. We can have location stats, like so, and the factions that are in there. What we also have is the ability to do metropolises. These are like major cities, and in there we can have different structures, like so, and these are all linked underneath it. And again, big location stats, points of interest, buildings, shops, etc. Let's look at Aldrich. Let's look at buildings, infantry, and this is the infantry of that shop. What we also have is monsters, because you need monsters in this game. Let's pick this guy out here. So this is a monster. This is all its details to do with it. Its loot table, the chance of dropping, traits, actions, pictures, and token. And we can edit that as we wish. Get onto Worldbuilder. This is where you build your world. So let's go pick the quest that is linked to the one I showed earlier, so the Bandit Pass. I can click on this, and there we go. So this is load up Bandit Pass, and in here I can drag out players, NPCs, characters, monsters, and any tokens that I might have linked up if I want to drag out that, for example, which I don't, so I'm just going to get rid of it. I can also put walls in, I can put doors in, I can put portals in. That's still early days. I can do light, like up here, and I can set the color of that light. If I want to make lighter and darker, we'll go red, radius, intensity, etc., etc. Let's do that. Let's keep it there. Put fog of war in, so this is complete fog of war. If, for example, you had walls up and you did fog of war or darkness, fog, the line of sight works for the characters as well as they walk through it. You can add notes as a DM, so you can put a note thingy and it'll appear there. You can modify the tokens, select him, make him dead, and you can do movement. This guy's got movement on, so what he will do, he will roam between these spots here because he's on roam mode, but if he had path, he could walk down here, get to there, go back again. Say, for example, you had a prison scene or cells and you wanted guards to walk a set path, you can do that. Once you're ready, you can update that. Now you're ready to play. You've got your story, you've got your players, you've got your characters, you've got your monsters, you've got your world built, everything's set up, ready to go. I forgot to say, on the world builder, go back to here, you can import DD2 VTTTs, you can import videos, and you can import images. They all work. If you do have any issues, here's a full list here: JPEG, PNGs, MP4, movies, MKVs, Foundry and roll exports. I use Dungeon Alchemist, and you can import that as well. So these maps have been made using Dungeon Alchemist. Moving on from there, you've built everything, you're ready. It's time to go back to the tavern and go to the guild hall. Let's go here, and we're going to post a contract. And what we're going to do, and here you've got the option of doing all your scheduling. So if you had like a weekly campaign, etc., this is where you'd set all that up. But in this instance, doing quick launch, I'm going to select my story. I'm going to make it private. I've got the option of doing public, where I can let any random person join. I host it as a DM and do however you want to do it there. Or private, it's just me and my friends and family. You got the option of using Discord, either hosted by me, and what I'll do is it will automatically make you the channels. It will make you a spectator channel if you want spectators, and it will make you a player channel, or you can host it yourself. If you were going public and you went through to the lobby, you can also allow spectators. So I'll just do this quickly. You've got the option here of allowing spectators, and then through the lobby system, spectators will be able to join and watch and listen along to see what you're doing, and they'll get the cinematic view of what's actually happening, which is the same as the projector view. You can add mercenaries. Say you want an extra person for one night, you can request a mercenary to come, and that's just where you've got a private game and you've got that campaign, and someone can join as a one-shot into that. Say you're going into a dungeon, and again you can have it visibility of being public or private in the lobby system. So what I'm going to do is just going to go back. I'm going to do a private. I don't need Discord, and I'm going to do cinematic, so projector mode. I'm going to include player tokens. If I didn't want player tokens, I could use miniatures and put them on the table or the projector view, or if I don't have a TV, I can do it that way. And what I'm doing is going to go down, select York's Heart Bandit Pass, and we're going to launch the table. This is creating a little lobby system now for the game. And there we go. So now we've got this lobby. Again, if this was public, the players will be able to join and say they're ready, join the Discord. But in this instance, we're not going to do that. I'm going to launch the table, and here we go. So there's that light, which I changed earlier. There's that roaming monster, and this is the cinematic view, where you would run it like this through a projector. Let's exit that again. And this is the DM view. So similar to the world builder, you can place your monsters and your NPCs and your characters. You can do handouts and show it to the virtual tabletop. So this is the same for whether it be a projector or playing online. It will show this and then disappear after a few seconds. You can post a message out and say hello. And that will come through if I actually click it properly. Send it. There we go. So that comes through there, and that will get published to people. What you can also do is have that amazing algorithm. Oh, what also quite important, what I control here and how I have it laid out. So let's just do this now. That now will be reflected in the projector view. So however I move it here will get moved here. Reason being is that, and one of the reasons why I initially started writing this is because the tool I was using, I was having to do that upside down, tilting my head at an angle whilst using a mouse in a different angle to try to control it. It's very frustrating. So I made this to replace that. And this is where we are today. In fact, all of this came from me not wanting to choose OneNote anymore, but that's a different story for a different day. So yeah, we have handouts, we have broadcasts, we have the dreaded, I think I'm that far away, and well, I'm 20 foot, and then the players can do the whole argument of, well, actually, if you go from this angle to that angle, it's a different thing, and that is all reflected on here. What we also can do is show the names. Let's go with the ruler, show the names again, so it comes through. We can clear fog if we had fog. We can do pings, so we can say, did you look up there yet? And that will go through to the players. Let's just do that quickly. There we go. So that ping came through. And one really cool feature is we can start a fight. So what we're going to do, we're going to select multi-select. We're going to select Rainer, and we're going to select this guy, and we're going to start a battle. We can roll for initiative, or you can do it using dice, however you want to do it. You can resolve monster HP manually if you want to say set it yourself and put it low, or you can use the stats that you made in Story Engine, but that's what that's going to do. So you can start a battle. This is where we're at. So what we can also do is click here, see all the stats for that monster, so you don't have to leave this tool. It's all in one place. You don't have to leave FableRealms, should I say. And you can go for and do that fight. We're going to lower that to 0. We're going to end the battle, and you can see here it's done a roll on that loot. We awarded the XP. So Rainer killed it, and we're going to click confirm result, and that is now dead. It's created an activity log, and in real time it's updated the story engine all the way back up to the top. Players, Rainer, battle stats, it's updated the story engine, awarded the XP, and awarded them items. I realised I need to add in an item list in here so we can see what that player's got, but also back in the Tavern, if the player was on their profile, they would also get the battle stats. And you can see here I've demoed this 3 times now and made mistakes every time I've done it. But yeah, 3 times, and eventually there'll be an infantry log in there as well. And yep, there we go. So that's dead, that's reflected there, and that's that. So that is FableRealms in however long this took me to film it this time without making any mistakes.